Hello everyone and welcome back to the 12 Days of DFIRmas, where we celebrate the people, stories, and technical excellence that make up the digital forensics and incident response community. Today I'm joined by Jeremy McBroom for the show. Jeremy is a digital forensic examiner with hands-on experience across computer forensics, mobile forensics, and complex investigative workflows. He's completed advanced training through the DoD Cyber Crime Center and is deeply engaged in the practical real-world side of digital forensic investigations, from challenging data recoveries to making sense of noisy, incomplete evidence. Jeremy, welcome to the 12 Days of DFIRmas. Thank you so much for joining me. For our listeners, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what got you into digital forensics?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. So the way I got into digital forensics was I started out in the Marine Corps as a personal computer and telecom systems repairman. Did about 4 years of that and then went into doing explosive ordnance disposal. And during that time, they sent us to a course for pre-deployment training where we learned about how to collect biometrics, post-blast analysis, and digital forensics. And when I actually deployed, I got to use some of those skills out in the field, and digital forensics was just something that kind of clicked for me. And after that, I got a degree in cybersecurity with a focus in digital forensics, and then it snowballed from there, and now I'm here.
So just to get this straight, you were diffusing bombs before you went into digital forensics.
Yes.
That's like a huge different pivot there.
Yeah, so it's funny because even though like it seems like a unique story, it's not, because I know somebody who went through the same kind of pipeline. When I say same kind of, exactly the pipeline. She was with me in school when I was becoming a telephone system and personal computer repairman. And then I met her again. We both screened together for EOD in the military. And then she got out before I did. And when I got out and I was trying to find a job and everything, I saw her on LinkedIn and she was a digital forensic examiner as well. And so it's like kind of like doing the same thing. So it's not even like a unique story. Like it just
I still think it's unique. I don't know. I think I know who you're talking about. Are you referencing Jessica Hyde?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because Jessica Hyde went through something similar, so maybe you're right. Maybe it's not as unique, but I feel like there's something there. I don't know. I don't want to be like punny, but like spark your interest in digital forensics from that specific category over to digital forensics in the military. I feel like that career path is very similar.
It's just I think it's the type of job, because when you think about digital forensics and explosive ordnance disposal, they're two fields that are always evolving, you're always learning, and everything's always changing, right? Different techniques, the technology is getting better, different ways of doing things, different methods to, get the data or to, render a piece of ordnance safe. So it feels different, but there's a lot of similarities between the two fields.
So when you initially started digital forensics, is it because it was always changing that was the most interesting aspect of it? Or is there something that's like just drew you in immediately?
The biggest piece was, just working with computers, phones, and everything, getting my hands back on technology. That was the biggest part, because I like to tinker. I like to, do different things. So it just kind of made sense to me. It's a very rewarding field, and I like being that support personnel as well. So like with EOD and everything, we're supporting the infantry and the main calls. And in the same way as DFEs, in my position, we're supporting law enforcement, the agents, to be able to, solve their cases or to find somebody innocent or guilty.
So you mentioned DoD. Did you go through the Cyber Crime Center, like the training that they offer for pre-deployment? Is that what you were referencing before?
For the pre-deployment training, it was actually at Florida International University. They have a specific course for military members who are going into different lab situations. So that's why I went through that course for pre-deployment training, because I was working out of a lab doing post-blast analysis, but there was a chance I would be doing these other things, which I got to do.
Awesome. So so you've done a lot of different training in industry and then also DoD training. What are the biggest differences in terms of like mindset or lessons learned that you bring into your casework every day?
Just the way to do things. So the DoD training kind of teaches you a method of going about things, where some of this other industry training will teach you tools, how to get to the data with the DoD issue, how to actually set out things to make it work in a logical sense, how to, from start to end, a method to get through the process.
Okay, so you don't have to be like a very senior examiner going into some of this casework or that coursework, maybe.
I was not even an examiner going through this coursework, which I felt hurt me more than it helped me, because I was learning these things, but didn't have a place to apply them. And so I learned this stuff trying to make myself marketable in the job market, only to not apply it. And then when I had the job, I can see where these things fit in, but it would be 3 or 4 months removed from when I took the course. So it was a little more difficult to kind of recall everything since I wasn't putting it into practice every day. But now that I'm in a position, I'm taking these other courses and applying these tools, techniques, these methods every day. It's really building on everything in each other.
I think a lot of students probably can relate to that, right? Like they go to school, they take a certification course, and they go through all this technical training, and then they're like, okay, now what?
Yeah,
Like how do I apply this? Do you do anything specifically outside of work to apply those practices and techniques to
I
kind of
mean,
like help on those skill sets?
work keeps me busy enough to where I don't have to do anything outside of work, because every day is an adventure with NCIS and doing digital forensics. We get all kinds of cases, the whole spectrum pretty much, doing everything from computers to mobile devices, to IoT devices. So I get to apply everything I learned pretty much every day. And if it's not every day, it's every month. I went through a course that taught hardware repair for like cell phones and IoT devices. And I had to use that just the other week to help one of the other examiners fix a phone that somebody tried to crack and break before we could pull the data from it. So it's nice to be in a position to where I can just use those skills organically.
Is that the most damaged phone that you've come across so far?
So far, yes. So they really tried. I think they tried to smash it with a hammer and then flush it in the toilet.
Classic.
And so when we got it, it was like, kind of, what is this? And they were going to send it off to a higher lab, and I was like, hey, I just went to a course for this. Let me add it. We got plenty of phones over here that we can get parts from. I can make it work. And so we got it working, and got that off of it. And once again, using those skills every day.
Was that the course that you're referencing? Was that a DoD specific course or was that an industry?
It was from the Federal Law Enforcement Center,
Oh, okay.
and it
Okay.
was in partnership with OPAD Rehab.
Oh, yeah, Jessa. So
Yeah,
she's actually going to be one of our guests too on this podcast. I'm excited.
yeah, she's amazing, and she does amazing work. And I'm not trying to plug her stuff, but if people have a chance to get to that course, get to it. It's
And it's
very
in
good.
person, right? Like it's in
Yeah,
person at her lab.
yeah, she does in person in lab, and for this she actually flew out to Florida for us,
Oh,
and
wow.
taught there,
I
and that
did
was
not
nice.
know that she took everything on the road. I just assumed that she did everything like right at her lab. People like went to her.
She's always working. Yeah, about the phones and things, and she was working on a phone while she was there. She was working her own not personal, but her own cases there while she was there with us, and showing us the things she was doing to do data recovery and everything. So it was nice.
Yeah, I think that the one thing about this industry that I think everybody across the board can agree with is there's no shortage of work ever.
You
We're
can always,
always busy.
yeah.
So I guess while what are your favorite type of investigations that you do? Like or like scope with digital forensics? Is it mobile devices? Do you like doing the hardware repair stuff? What's your favorite? Like where do you gravitate towards?
Right now we get a lot of mobile devices, and it makes sense because everybody has a cell phone. Some people have 4 or 5 for some reason.
I
So
can't. I wouldn't. I can hardly keep track of one phone. I can't imagine having multiples.
I don't. We had one guy with 7 cell phones, 4 laptops, and he wasn't even doing anything like crazy, right? He wasn't some big hacker or anything. He was just a guy. So yeah, people. I don't know. I don't get it. I have two, and one's for work, and that's it. One person, one for work, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really boring when it comes to that. I would be an easy case. I live on my phone and my laptop, and that's it. Um, I guess I do have an iPad, but I hardly use it. I just, I don't know. It's new to me still. I got it for just doing cardio, which is sad. So it's like whatever can make me, not think about what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So I guess when you first sit down with a mobile device, do you have like a process or workflow or like a checklist item that you've developed? Like what are some techniques that you can share with, especially with new examiners who might feel a little nervous starting a case for the first time? What would you recommend?
Yeah, definitely have a checklist. So there are, with different labs come different things. Some people have digital forensic technicians who do all the rips for them, and then they have to just worry about the analysis. And you have people who do the analysis. You know, for me, when we get a case, we're doing everything from the acquisition to the report writing at the end after we did our examination. So having a checklist for that is very important. Okay, so you get a phone, it comes in. First thing you got to do is document who gave you the phone, what time it came in. You got to take your pictures. If you have the passcode to it, always navigate to the settings so I can get that picture of, the actual serial number, the IMEI, everything else, because that's also very important to identify this is the phone that came in, this is the phone that belongs to the suspect or the victim. And then once all of that's taken care of, then it goes on one of the machines for the acquisition, get the extraction, and then that's when you make the determination, is this a case that needs to be handled right now? Or can I put this to a side while I work on the other 15 cases that I have under my name? And I think that's one of the bigger pieces is prioritizing your cases and making sure that you're not dropping the ball on something that's really pertinent and needs to get done right away. Because that's the thing I struggled with most coming into this field was knowing when something needs to be done right away or when something can wait. Because once you start, taking on all these cases all at one time, you're just going to fall behind. And
Yeah.
you have nothing to really show for your work. You're working these long hours, but you're working pieces here, pieces there, and it gets overwhelming. So you got to really set out what needs to be done right away and what can be put on the back burner.
So how do you even build out like your own priority list? Because I know for me, like if I'm talking about priorities day to day, I go by due dates. But sometimes in digital forensics, it's not a due date, right? You
Yeah.
don't know how long your investigation is going to take. It depends. I like the term that we all like go back to. It depends. It depends. It depends. We don't know how much data is on it, so it depends on how long that examination is going to take. So how do you prioritize that?
Um, so most times it'll come with the type of cases I have. Um, some cases take priority over others, whether it be suspects in pretrial confinement, or if there's some other circumstances where it needs to be done right away. While other cases, it's like, well, this is not a case where we need this out of right away, or sometimes it's out of my hands completely because we're only as good as our tools sometimes, right? So if it's a newer device and I can't get acquisition on it because there's no support for the device yet, then naturally it's going to wait until I can do something with it. Or sometimes it's like the data is so much, is overwhelming. Something that would have to wait until I can kind of, get other kids out the way. Because before it's like, okay, we got phones coming in that are 128 gig, and then only maybe 64 of that is used.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting with cell phones with 600 gigs worth of data on it. And then you get multiple phones, multiple devices, and you're like, this is going to have to be taken out in sections, right? The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So you got to really focus on like, what can I take from here? What's the important piece of evidence on this device? And how can I put this in a way for the case agents to not accept, but to understand better or to make it apply to their case? because also like the case agents have their own piece of what they're looking for.
Right.
So as long as you're talking with your case agents and they're like, hey, we need this, we need this, we need this, it narrows down that scope so you're not trying to look through the complete 600 gigs of data that you have.
Are your case agents that you're working with, are they really technical people, or it's kind of like a mixed bag?
It's kind of a mixed bag. They try. They really do try. No, but it's good. And then where they don't really understand some of the technical stuff, we can kind of step in and explain it like, hey, you don't really need this because this doesn't apply to what you're looking for. Or I know you want this data, but it just does not exist on this phone. So there's something we can really do for you here. And yeah, I mean, they try their hardest. Some because you get a whole range of people, right? You get, some people are older who are somehow good with technology. They, integrate it really good with it. And you have younger people who kind of pushed away from technology because they see it as a distraction. So when they come over here and they ask you questions, you're like, it's just different.
That is so interesting that you said that younger people pushing technology away. I feel like that's very rare nowadays, right? Usually you have like older people kind of like distancing themselves as they come, but I guess with case agents, because they're more seasoned, and they probably know exactly what they're looking for, what they're asking for, because they've seen a little bit of everything in their career. So I guess it makes sense. So
Yeah.
Did you have any unexpected like cases or artifacts or anything like that recently that you were like, I didn't think that this artifact would be important, but it was?
Not recently. I'm trying to think back because we handle, cases for the Navy Marine Corps. And that's so while we get like a lot of different cases, they all kind of feel the same. Not saying because they're like the same type of people, but you kind of get like a feel for what's going on. One case that had an interesting artifact was Bumble. It was can't really talk about the specifics of the case, but we were trying to find when these two parties started talking, and it was over Bumble. And at the time, it was the end of 2024. Bumble wasn't really supported in some of the other apps as far as like pulling out usernames and everything. And one of my coworkers, Roberto, he got into the hex. He was looking through everything because he had a case where he needed Bumble data. And so he was able to pull out just usernames, emails, and everything. And then that led to when the profile was created and when they started conversations with people. And because of him, like we were able to match when these people started talking and kind of create a timeline of the case from there.
So with apps, when you're coming across new ones, you had mentioned that your coworker was looking at Hex. Did you guys end up developing a script, or did another industry partner develop something to support that eventually?
Yeah. So a big help was the iLeap tools, iLeap and ALeap, because those guys, you can hit them up and be like, hey, this isn't supported. Is there anything you can do? And Alexis, or any of his other programmers who work on that tool, will get up there and quickly get you something to where you can work with, and it's great. So that's one tool that kind of helped.
Yeah, they have a huge community. So I think that's what I like the most about this industry is the community response that we get, because you're like, I'm not the only person who's looking at this app. There's just no way. That's exciting. So, well, with other tools that you're using, are you seeing like a shift in technology in the tools that are, helpful or alarming or anything along those lines that just wasn't expected throughout the year? We've had a lot of people be like, oh, well, easy button is AI with that regard, or any of the automation suites.
With the whole AI push and everything, with some of the tools, they have really good in-picture identification, software where it can pick out, different kind of materials like guns or drugs or money and everything, which is really good, but it's not like a total solution because it will miss some things, or it will include things that aren't what it's trying to identify. And so because of that, it's good for a quick triage, but then you have to go back on the back end and then still look through pretty much all the images. And that's one part of the tools that, like I said, it's really good for triage. But since you have to still manually go through and look at all those pictures and watch those videos.
So some of the cases that you're getting, you already know that they're important. Like, do they go through a triage process before they get to you all? So you're not looking at devices that are just like not relevant? Is that
No.
okay? Yeah,
Not
because
yet.
I see this a lot in other, because like sometimes, especially for law enforcement, right? When they're doing a search warrant, they don't know what device is relevant and what's not. So I think a lot of individuals, especially who are listening to the podcast, they have a mindset as there's not a lot of DoD forensic examiners. And so when we are talking to DoD forensic examiners, there is an entire process flow that happens before it even gets to your desk. And so we already know when it gets to your desk that this case is relevant. So maybe the triage tools aren't as valuable in this specific role. Because like you said, you still have to go through all the pictures.
Yeah.
So,
And then with law enforcement, some of the agents or officers on scene don't know exactly what they're looking for. So they collect everything. And so we get all kinds of things coming through the lab. Just the other week, we had somebody come in with a hard drive, where they said it was a hard drive that needed to be looked at. And when they got to us, we looked at it, and it was a power bank. And we were like, well, can't do anything with this. There's no data in it. And so we get cases where there's like 15 items that's been collected, only 6 of them hold data, and only 2 are relevant to the case. So we are that kind of triage. They collect it, they bring it to us, we look at it, we're like, is this useful? Does this hold data? Could this be used to store anything? And then we triage everything from there.
yeah, that sounds very familiar of what I went through. Sometimes we would get like just brand new USBs, never been used.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is still in the package. I mean, we'll still look at it, but it's like it's probably not what we're looking for. I mean, it is possible, right? So for someone to like reseal something so it looks new, so it doesn't like pop any alarms or whatever. But yeah, we've seen it all as well. We've also seen like general, battlefield material make it back to us. That's like probably shouldn't be in a lab situation. Hazardous materials, but it happens. So you and I actually, we met at a conference a long time ago. And I just saw you at Techno this past summer. So have you gone to any other conferences or have any insights for any of our listeners of what ones are good ones, or maybe a talk that stood out to you the most?
Oh, Techno is all I kind of have time for these days. So when it comes to conferences, that's the main one I get to go to, and in part because of you. Like, you always come through when I need you the most.
Last minute.
Last minute.
I will respond. Sometimes it's like 12 hours beforehand, but I will respond.
And I really do appreciate you, I want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
But no, the only other one I've been to recently was the SANS DFIR, their conference, and that's a good one too.
Where was that one held this year?
What was that?
Where was it held this year?
I don't know what was held this year. I went last year, and when it was in Texas.
Oh, okay.
It was in Seattle. I think it was somewhere on the West Coast, because I was thinking about going, but it was like across the country, and I was like, maybe not this year.
It's a journey, yeah. They always have really good talks, though. And I feel like, similar to Techno, they're product agnostic, right? They're always presenting on like either casework or studies or different artifacts or scripts or, something that is useful rather than learning how to use the tool set.
Yeah.
So,
and then with this year Techno, the opening kind of the conference opener, where they were talking about pig butchering scans and everything, that was a really good talk. There was a really good talk on mental health in the DFIR community, as far as, because we work with some very heavy caseloads, and it's very important to getting the help that you need to when you need it, rather than having it stack on itself and you wipe yourself out. Yeah, there was a lot of good talks this year. If I could recommend one conference that everybody goes to at least once, is Techno.
Yeah, I feel like you can get everything at Techno.
Yes.
Yeah, all
So
different
many people we can
talks.
meet and converse with, and their CTFs are always good. It's a good time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the CTFs. How could I
Yeah,
forget? Well, every time I think of CTFs, I think of I always think of like the Magnet User Summit or like SANS for whatever reason. I don't know. My mind just like immediately gravitates to those two conferences. So, did you participate in a CTF?
I did. I did terrible. So hopefully next year I'll do
Well, good
better.
on you for trying. I actually, I don't know if I should admit this to everyone, but I've never participated in a CTF.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I always plan on participating, and then I do. I fill my schedule up with 50,000 other things. Um, I definitely need to participate in one. I've been told in the past I need to participate in one.
I mean, I know Magnet has their coming up in February, and I just signed up for theirs because I was next year. I'm trying to really get into more of, you know, through learning, through doing, and that was one of my things was getting involved with more CTFs. So, I mean, there's one coming up if you want to sign up for it.
Oh my gosh, when is that one?
It's the second or third week in February. I know you're a really busy woman.
Oh, in February. Oh, why did
But
I think it was in April? Is there one in April too?
there might be one in April. They have
Oh, yeah,
things going on
they're
all the
busy.
time.
They always have a bunch of events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to look into it now. Now that this is recorded and being put out on the internet. The pressure is on. Oh my gosh. So are you trying to hone in any skills for 2026? Like do you have a DFIR resolution?
Yeah, actually I do. Because this last year I tried to do everything. And when you try to do everything, sometimes you end up not really doing anything at all. So I'm really trying to pull back and focus on, at least for like the first quarter, the first half of the year, really honing in my Android specific mobile device skills and then moving on to iOS. Like mobile forensics is the bulk of the work we get. So that's where I really need to focus my attention. And I really want to get good at the manual kind of examination rather than relying on the different types of um, automatic tools. So getting into the actual file system of everything, learning file paths, being able to locate data quickly without the need of like a Celebrite or an Axiom.
That sounds like a really good resolution. How are you going to start?
That's a good question. So I did take the SANS 585, so I have all that material still. So that's where I'm going to kind of start. I want to take the Hexordia Mobile Forensics class again. I took it before, but it was one of those cases where I took it before I had the job, and
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of stuff was like it was really good to learn at the time. I didn't have anywhere to apply it, and so a lot of it kind of just went away. So I want to get take that course again and really get back into the file system stuff, those different
So,
devices.
would you be looking at I think she has a couple different ones, Hexordia does. The
Mhm.
fundamentals or the data structures?
I think I would start with the fundamentals. I think I need to go back to the very beginning, get a good foundation of everything, and then start building up from there.
Yeah. They always have like amazing courses. Are you taking it in person, online?
It'll probably be online, and I would want to do it in person, but that just depends on the workload. I mean, every we're getting everything these days, so
Oh my gosh, I know it's like never ending lately. So, do you prefer online versus in person, or you would rather do everything in person?
I'd rather do everything. I hate online. I really do.
Really?
I'd rather do everything in person. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know
gosh.
people who like online because it gives them like that flexibility to, do it kind of on their time, or if it is like at a certain time, they can do it at their residence. They don't have to travel and everything. But I'd rather travel. I'd rather get away from, everything, just focus on that
Yeah.
class at work.
Yeah, it's at least for me, just like working from home. there's like 50 other things in the background that I know need to be done around the house. So it's hard for me to focus in on.
Yeah.
I think there is also the value of being in person, of like that face-to-face interaction, of getting different mentorship from other people in the room or learning about their experiences that feed directly into that entire learning path. I think that that is invaluable. You don't get the same, it's not the same online.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
You make a lot of really good points about that. And yeah, it's just you can't beat the in-person experience.
Yeah.
And then feeling from everybody around you, it gives you a better opportunity to get to know different people. It's just overall, in my opinion, it's a better way of learning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone who is surprised that knows me is like, of course Amy wants to be in person so she can just like continue to talk and talk and talk and talk.
Nothing wrong with it.
I'm the extrovert. I just like I have a lot to say. I can fill up a whole room. It's fine. And I'm always interested in other people's like like their stories and journeys, which is like part of this podcast too. Of like I want to know like how people got into it, how they think, what they're doing, any projects they're working on. So I always, I don't know, get into. People are probably like, why is this lady so nosy? Um, I'm not nosy. I'm just curious. It's different, right? So yeah. So this is the holiday podcast. I see that you're very festive. Who are you wearing on your shirt? Is this Snoopy?
Yeah, Snoopy and Woodhouse,
Oh my gosh.
uh,
They have my
home
heart.
for holidays. There's a holiday. There it is. Holiday.
Mine says all I want for Christmas is PTO. So I don't know
Nice.
if we're gonna get it.
Nice.
I feel like
Oh, well,
I don't ever actually take like a full time off. Which, speaking of mental health, we kind of touched on a little bit. Take time off, definitely important. Don't be
yeah.
like me.
You got to take the time off. You have to take the time off. You can't. You run yourself into the ground if you just keep working and working and working. You got to get that mental reset and come back into things.
Yeah. Yeah, it is super important. And to do like fun things too. In all aspects of life, right? Not just work, but personal, like taking so for me, I'm in the gym nonstop, stuff like that. Also taking a break, dial it back, enjoy some holiday food and like live life a little bit is also important. So breaks across all aspects. So do you have any like holiday traditions or favorite movies or treats or anything that you look forward to?
Uh, Not really. I wasn't really like a big Christmas guy growing up, but now I'm a little bit older. I got kids of my own, and so we're really getting into setting up the tree together, decorating the house. The little one likes to run around, and we have Elf on the Shelf now that
I
we
was just gonna ask, do you have Elf on the Shelf?
yeah, we got that, and she loves it. She's
Does
like,
your
"Where's
elf have a
Cinnamon?"
name?
Yeah, Cinnamon. And
Cinnamon? Oh, so
she wakes up
cute.
and she's like, "Where's Cinnamon at? Where's she at?" And she'll go and try to find her and everything. So it's nice.
I have to ask, isn't it a little stressful to have an elf on the shelf, like causing mischief all the time?
Oh, it's terrible. They're everywhere. They get into everything too.
Yeah. What's
With
your
all the
favorite thing that they've done so far this year?
they haven't done anything too crazy. Um, it's we're trying to really tone down on the mischief around the house, especially around the holidays. So she's just been, she might be reading a book from a corner, spying on a little one, or in her little Halloween candy bowl, getting into some sweets, but nothing too crazy around here.
I've seen some
But
crazy ones. I've seen some like wild, off the wall, like elf in the shelf stories documented on social media. And I'm like, I don't know. As a parent, I might not be too happy that there's sprinkles all over the kitchen or glitter everywhere.
yeah,
Because glitter, especially glitter, you're cleaning up for like, I want to say months, but it feels like years.
yeah.
You're just like, you still find it.
Before this recording, I had a piece of glitter on my face, and I don't even know how it got there. It's just
It showed
it's
up.
somewhere around the house, it's on the trees, and
It was
it just
actually from 3 Christmases ago,
yeah.
and it still showed up.
It's been there for 3 years. We've just not seen it.
Yeah. I think for me, we don't have an elf on the shelf. Um, our house is not blessed.
No.
But we do an advent calendar every year, whether that be a Lego one or this year's a Lego Minecraft one. And then I would say we always have treats. Like every single week in December, there is a treat. Like we make like make different cookies or I think this year we're going to attempt to do gingerbread houses. I say attempt because I have never made a gingerbread house from scratch, so pray for
Oh,
us.
from
It's going
scratch.
to be
Oh, I was
intense.
thinking getting a little kit from the store and then putting it together, but you going from
Yeah.
scratches. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Both like these two little ones love to make things in the kitchen. So it's like, "Oh, we'll do it together." But I don't know. Thanksgiving we made mini pies and I was like, this was a lot.
Yeah.
So,
So I know you said this morning, you guys were making some cookies. What kind of cookies did you guys make?
oh my gosh, they were easy. They were just like the M&M, like red and green M&M cookies,
I,
but perfect. They came
yeah.
out great. I'm gonna just like destroy them after this podcast, but it's fine. I always look forward to those and the little shortbread cookies. You know, the ones that
Mhm.
come in the blue tin.
Oh yeah.
Those are money. That's like my little guilty treat in the morning because I do it with my coffee. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And people say you have cookies for breakfast, but it's like I'm an adult. I can have anything for breakfast.
Hey, I live and die by these words that my friend told me. She's like, cookies are fine. They have eggs in them and milk. And
Now it's breakfast. There you go.
I'm like, all the things you normally would eat, just constructed together as a cookie. It's fine. So that's what I'm gonna go by. That's
Right.
how I'm gonna get through this holiday season. It's fine. So yeah, but today we're gonna set up the tree and do all the fun stuff. So I'm not sure. Last year we had a Star Wars tree, so I'm
Nice.
not sure what we're gonna do this year. I have to look to see what chaos I ordered, and then we'll get into it. But I'm excited. It'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's already the 14th, and I also don't have my tree up. And we keep saying we're gonna put it up, we're gonna put it up. And I think today we had to at this point.
It's
We
a
had
lot. It's a
it is.
lot. People don't talk about it, but you can't just put up the tree. You gotta like clean the house and like clean all these like weird like nooks and crannies that you normally don't clean, and then you gotta rearrange everything to put the tree there. It's a
Yeah,
lot. I get it, 100%. And then when you have kids and you're working full time, it's
yeah.
and now you have like your elf on the shelf, Cinnamon. You gotta clean up after and like keep her in line. So
It all just is all working against you, but you gotta get through it.
yeah, yeah. No, I like the I wasn't big into the holidays until we had little ones. But now it's fun. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of things that they are like, and there's fresh snow on the ground here in Virginia, so it's like all magical. And as long as I'm not going outside, I enjoy it. So, it's like-
Yeah. Snow was good from the other side of the window.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. So we're 12 floors up and looking out, you can see everything. And I was like, perfect. I don't need to go anywhere to enjoy this. We're like in a little snow globe. It's nice. So,
Nice, nice. Yeah, we got a little bit of snow in North Carolina here last week, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And hopefully we'll get some before Christmas. But we'll
oh,
see.
I'm sure you
North
will.
Carolina kind of weird like that.
I'm sure you will. Yeah, the weather's been all over the place. I feel like the snow came
It's,
early this year for everybody. So,
it's very weird. We usually don't get snow this early, but you know, got it this year. Something must be different.
well, good. I hope you have it for the holiday season. So, it'll be exciting.
Kids, be nice to the kids.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I've
No, thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
having me.
And I hope I'm actually going to check in with you and see what Cinnamon gets up to after this podcast. I want to know. I love everyone's elf on the shelf stories. So,
And maybe she'll get into something crazy tonight. We'll see.
the glitter that you had on your face was like a preview. You just didn't know.
Yeah. I think she sprinkled it on my face while I was sleeping,
There
and
you
that's what
go.
it was.
All right. Well, thank you so much and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
You're welcome.